Hey, good afternoon. Dave Rexroth here, a 7 First Alert meteorologist. Want to keep you up to date on what's going on with the storm that's coming in to finish off the week and get the weekend started. If you're watching on Facebook, nice to see you here. You can also be watching on Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire. We're going to give you updates about every 4 hours or so as we get into tonight, and then, of course, through the storm tomorrow as well. So we got you covered on all those platforms just so you know what's going on. Of course, we start at 4 o'clock with the news on Channel 7 and run all the way to 11:35 as well. And you can catch us at 10 o'clock on TV 20 Detroit. So all that said, we're going to keep you covered. Of course, we'll be posted on social media, WXYZ.com. No matter where you're tuning in, we'll let you know what's going on. This will end up being the second biggest storm of the year. Just because the first one, if you remember back on Veterans Day, was the biggest one, and this is just our second storm. So we've been kind of laying low for a while now, but it's going to get interesting tonight after midnight and then through tomorrow morning. With the snow, then there are some changeovers as the day goes along Saturday. That'll keep the roads very interesting, to say the least. So high pressure is in control today. That's what's been giving us the sunshine. I'm going to just give you a quick synopsis here. Let this roll through. We'll do it a couple times. Snow comes in overnight tonight through the morning tomorrow. Then it gets warmer. Then we change to rain. Then it gets colder. We go back to snow. And by the time we get here to Sunday morning, we're on the backside of the storm system. And the wind is going to be up Saturday late, Saturday night and Sunday. So here comes the cold air. I'm going to show this to you one more time. We'll go forward here real quick, and then I'll back it up just so you can see that again. Nice weather with the high pressure. That moves away. Here comes the snow. And again, that's going to be hot and heavy for a while. Change over to rain in the afternoon. Change back to some snow late. Although when we do change back, it'll be quite light. So that's not the concern about adding a whole bunch more snow. But it gets colder as we go along. I'm showing you this progression because I want you to know that shoveling tomorrow, probably around noon, 1 o'clock at the latest, is going to be the best chance for you to get things cleared before we add rain to the snow, which does pack it down. It will not wash it all away. It'll just pack it down, make it heavier to push and shovel. And it's also going to make it tough once the cold air comes back in Saturday night and Sunday and freezes everything in the driveway, ruts in the street, sidewalk, that kind of thing. So usually we don't tell you that this is concerning, but it will be important to get things shoveled up as we go along. Now, a couple of days out, we started with watches. We had a watch for the whole area. As we get closer to the storm now, we start breaking that down, be more specific. So there is a warning now. This is a winter storm warning from 10 p.m. tonight, all right, through noon tomorrow. This is the northern suburbs, Livingston, Oakland, Macomb counties, all the way down to the Ohio border. This area will see a little bit more snow than the north side, and there also might be a little sleet that mixes in as well. That's why it's a warning rather than an advisory, which is posted on the north side. So in this area, anywhere from 5 to 9, and I'll show you some more detailed maps on the snow totals coming up in just a little bit. But in this area, 5 to 9 inches of snow. That's all before the changeover to rain. So that's, again, tonight, kicking in at 10 o'clock or a little later, and then moving in from the southwest, taking over until about noon tomorrow. And so that's a pretty short period of time to get that much snow. That's almost an inch per hour for several hours there, and that's why the warning is in place. Now, the northern areas, Lapeer, Sanilac, St. Clair County, all right, it starts a little bit later. Instead of 10 o'clock midnight, it's coming from the southwest, so it just takes a little longer time to get up to you. So midnight to noon tomorrow is a winter weather advisory. So not a warning like the south, but an advisory. It means just a little bit less action. It's a little less trouble overall. Snow totals in this region will be 5 to 7 inches. So this is the map that I really want you to concentrate on for snowfall. If you look down the street, somebody might get an inch more than you. If you look across town, they might get 2 inches. So we try to break this into 2-inch increments here and give you an idea. Generally, the whole area is expected to get 5 to 7 inches of snow. However, it does look like the bullseye could be right in the metro area, where some areas of Washtenaw, Wayne, Livingston, Oakland, Macomb, and southern St. Clair County, south of Port Huron, may go anywhere from 7 to 9. So if I was hearing this, I'd be thinking, okay, I'm talking about a ½ a foot of snow generally around the area here. Some spots might go to 8 or 9, and the most likely part of that is right in the metro. The reason it's a little less in the south is because you have a little better chance to mix some sleet in. Of course, the more sleet you get, the less snow you get. sleet doesn't pile up like snow does with that fluff factor. And then on the north side, it starts a little bit later, and you're just a little farther away from the heavy moisture that's swinging through, so that's why it's less. Still, again, around a half a foot in the Sanilac, Lapeer, St. Clair County, and about a half a foot in Lenawee, Monroe County. But the bullseye looks to be just an inch or two more than that, 7 to 9 inches expected. Again, we're looking at Saturday between Friday night, 10 p.m., Saturday at noon. So there might be another ½ inch to inch added on top of this late on Saturday, but this is going to be the intense part of the storm in terms of the snowfall here. And again, the farther south of Detroit, the better chance to mix in a little bit sleet. Now, this is one of our better computer models looking at some specific numbers in specific towns spread across the area. And you can see, again, some higher amounts in the metro, some 8s and 9s in here, while it's a little bit less to the south, a little bit more to the north. Are there some numbers that pop out? Yep, Adrian a little bit higher than what I'm thinking here. But I just wanted to give you an idea that the computer model thought process is kind of following what we're talking about in general as well, with a bullseye somewhere here in the metro area. This is the snow, again, from midnight to about noon. Heaviest, I think, in terms of how fast it's coming down, limiting the visibility, piling up on the streets, is going to be from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. You say, well, I'm not out at 3 a.m. But the point is, there's going to be quite a bit of snow on the ground if you're getting up at 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock. So again, the shoveling idea here is important late morning to early afternoon while we get this snow out of the way before we start making it heavier and as we go along. Temperatures will start in the mid to upper 20s overnight, so there'll be a little bit of fluff factor when it gets going, but when the heaviest snow comes down from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m., it really will be pretty sticky and wet snow, so it's going to be heavy to begin with. Don't let the extra rain get on top of it. This is a look at the ice potential. Again, it would be quite spotty and more south than north, really concentrated more in Lenawee, Monroe County than anywhere else. And you notice it doesn't even register really amounts down there. So what that's saying is maybe a little sleet mixes in, especially south of Detroit and Ann Arbor, south of I-94, if you will. There's not going to be too much of that at all on the north side. If it does, it falls in some of those colder temperatures and it just kind of piles up on top of the snow. It will all start as snow as we get going. So the breakdown of the storm overall is snow late tonight through the morning. 5 to 9 is the spread. All right, so everybody should be thinking 5 or 6 inches at least. That's a lot to shovel and get pushed around. Then it starts to change afternoon until about 3 o'clock to rain. It doesn't have to be real heavy, but it looks like it's a fairly steady rain. Again, that adds weight to the snow here as we go along. And then after about 3 o'clock, we start to get somewhat drier air in here, so it goes from rain to drizzle. And that's still going to be adding, obviously, weight to the snow, that kind of thing. But it looks like at that point, temperatures are well above the freezing mark in the afternoon here, so you don't have to worry about freezing rain, that kind of thing. You don't have to worry about the power lines. Now, the snow could be heavy in the morning, stick it on the power lines, but it's not like we're talking freezing rain here. Temperatures tomorrow are going to be in the upper 30s, maybe even a couple spots touch 40, so this is not a real concern. Then, as we get later in the day, all right, past about 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock, and the drizzle starts to go back to some light snow, but the key here is we start to drop the temperatures late Saturday. Saturday night gets colder, and Sunday and beyond stay cold. This is why I think it's so important to get the snow removed of places where you really need to get out of, because it'll be refreezing Saturday evening as temperatures drop below the freezing mark. That'll make the roads that have been cleared an opportunity to be icy, and the roads that have not been cleared, that snow rut is going to turn into a slushy rut. Then it's going to turn eventually into a frozen rut. That'll be really, really tough. So here's kind of a time-wise breakdown, if you will, of the weekend. Tonight, snow moves in after 10 o'clock. We're talking on the west side there. It might be closer to about midnight downtown and on the northeast side. Temperatures again at first in the 20s. But it gets a little warmer as we go along, so the sticky, heavy snow is going to be what the majority of this is. Kind of hard to shovel anyway. Heaviest snowfall from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. It'll snow through noon, maybe on the northeast side till 1 or 2 o'clock as it goes southwest to northeast. We have a pretty big area to cover here. That's why some small changes in timing that way. And then tomorrow afternoon, we go over to the rain until about 3 o'clock. Then it starts to get a little lighter with the drizzle. Make sure, again, I know I've been pounding this home, but you'll be hating yourself if you don't get that snow up in the middle of the day and we start adding all the weight of the water around here. Tomorrow night, icy travel as it refreezes. A little touch of snow to go on top of that as well, anywhere from a half to maybe an inch more. This is all of Saturday night. so that's not a lot of snow, especially compared to the intensity that'll be happening in the morning. Then on Sunday, it's going to be windy and cold. I'm going to the west side of the state for a football banquet on Sunday. I'm going to leave an extra hour early because the storm is tracking across the whole state. So I'm concerned for my trip that we'll have some icy spots on the roads. The wind's going to be blowing, wind chill's going to be near zero. There certainly could be some additional, although not many, snow showers here and there. If you get into that on top of the roads that have some slippery spots, you're going to have slow travel on Sunday. And we're going to get locked into this cold again and keep it around for a long, long time. So that's all about what's coming our way. Here's where the storm is right now. Big swath of snow from Minneapolis, where they're actually talking winter storm warnings going to blizzard warnings down through Iowa. And you see about St. Louis to Kansas City line, the changeover, mix over to some rain added there, and then the rain on the south side of Missouri. So what will happen is the center of the storm that's swirling out here, kind of northeast Iowa, that will actually stay to our north. So they're going to get a bunch of snow on the back and wind. We'll get a bunch of snow and wind on the front, but eventually we get some of this warm area to come in, and that's going to make things change over tomorrow. So we're 26 here, it's 28 in Indy, and it's closer to 30 in St. Louis. Tomorrow, we're going to get in the upper 30s, maybe again a couple spots hit 40, so there'll be that changeover back and forth. That's probably a good thing if you don't like shoveling, because obviously we'd probably end up with more snow than that if we didn't do it. I'm going to just go back real quick here one time. 20s out there for this evening. Okay, clouds start to thicken up. Your Friday evening plans up till about 10 o'clock are fine. And on the northeast side, probably up until about midnight, you're okay. But just keep in mind, you might be coming home in the snow starting if you're out late. Snow in the morning, quite heavy again. Wrap it up somewhere around noontime. That noon timeline, the changeover timeline is going to move from southwest to northeast across the area, so it might be a little bit later, 1 o'clock or so on the northeast side. And then the rain's around steady at first in the afternoon, then changing over to drizzle. Again, 39, plenty warm. Look at the winds, southeast turning to the southwest. That gives some of that warmth too, but warmer air holds more moisture, and that's why this is going to be a big dump of snow as the warm air tries to move in. Here's the extended forecast. We're going to go 20 and 26 on Saturday. Let's see here. That's Sunday. I got the days mixed up here, so I screwed this up. I apologize. That for everything should be a day over there. So it's 39 on Saturday and it's 26 on Sunday. Next week, all these temperatures are going to be on the cool side here, okay? So we're talking 20s for highs, teens for lows, so it's a tough go as we march along. I'm going to just rewind this back up if I can. We'll see if the clicker works here and get you back up to the top of the show. Again, I just want to give you an idea. It's going to get interesting, so to speak, after we get past midnight. Don't worry about this. I'm going to flip some of these by you real quick, and I wanted you to see this is the storm now out in Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois and coming toward us. And the one graphic that I really want you to focus on in terms of snow, here we go, is this one. So 5 to 7 widespread from about midnight, starting a little earlier on the west side, maybe as early as 10 o'clock through midday on Saturday. Everybody's going to have snow to push. The best chance for some sleet added in is going to be in Lenawee, Monroe County, maybe up to I-94, but that won't be at first. So it's not like it gets on the ground, makes it icy, then we add the snow. And then we're going for the bullseye opportunity in the metro area, anywhere from 7 to 9 inches. There are probably going to be a lot more spots that are 7 or 8 than 9. But I just think with the impact, the energy, and the moisture coming through, some spots here, especially around Detroit and to the west, might go up to 9 inches or so with the heavy moisture there. And then on the north side, 5 to 7 in Lapeer, St. Clair, from about Port Huron north or in Sanilac County. So a lot of snow for everybody. The wind on the backside of this will be a problem as well. Can't hit this home enough. Make sure you get your shoveling done as you get into midday on Saturday. Even if it snows another inch after you shovel, it's going to be a lot better than trying to push 6, 7, 8, 9 inches of snow around once the rain gets on it. And if you don't get things cleaned up on Saturday, it's going to get crusty and icy, and it's going to stay that way. Lots of travel issues in the morning because of the snow, in the afternoon because of the slop. And the clearing takes a while with this much snow and all the crews out. And then again, we refreeze it Saturday night through Sunday. Even on Sunday, still some travel concerns as the cold air moves in. We're going to keep you updated again. 4 o'clock when we get started on Channel 7, WXYZ.com. We've got our weather forecast on there. You can always see the radar. Through the afternoon and evening hours, too, one of our computers is going to be looping through several different graphics that you can see at WXYZ.com. We'll be back on Facebook, Roku, Amazon Fire, and of course Apple TV as well, keeping these updates coming every few hours as we go through the evening. You won't get a lot of that while we're on the news from 4 to 7:30 there, but we'll get back to you as we get into the evening hours. I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow as well. We're just trying to be everywhere we can for you, so wherever you like to see what's going on, we're going to provide all the information as much as we possibly can. Thanks for checking things out with us this afternoon. Again, the news starts at 4 o'clock on Channel 7. Hope to see you then.